Shalom, shalom. I want to start off by giving all honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Harakakadash La'olam Yom. I want to give double honors to all the elders and apostles of Great Millstone for teaching me sound doctrine. Strong shalom to all the men out there doing this work diligently, making their calling and their election sure. Peace and salutations to the women out there holding down the households too as well, being under subjection to their husbands. Shalom to the whole nation of Yasharallah. This brother Kazak Rakar coming back at you with another video, in addition to the Wise Words series that I'm doing on the channel, Unknown Agape. So this is the addition of that Wise Words. Hopefully this is edifying. This is part 3 of it. Hopefully the Lord, make this edifying. I'm reading over Proverbs chapter 12. We're going to read the whole chapter, then break it down with precepts, make this a quick video. Okay, through the spirit of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua. Once again, hopefully this is edifying. This is Proverbs chapter 12, verse 1. It says, "Whoso loveth instruction, loveth knowledge, but he that hateth reproof is brutish," right? So if you love instruction, right, you will love knowledge. Coming into this truth, coming into this walk, you have to first off be instructed, right? You have to be able to be taught, right? Be able to follow directions, not the directions, not only the directions from your elders that you follow, but also the directions from the Lord, right? Because that's the order of things, right? You have to follow the directions from the Lord. He give us statutes, he give us commandments, he give us laws to follow for our good, right? That's what Joshua Salakia chapter 1 verse 8 says. Let's get that real quick. Just a precept. Joshua 1 and 8. It says, Joshua chapter 1 verse 8, it says, "This book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth, but thou shalt meditate therein day and night, that thou mayest observe to do according to all that is written therein. For then thou shalt make thy way prosperous, and then thou shalt have good success." So if you want to have good success, if you want to be prosperous, even in this wicked ass kingdom, the Lord can set up men and women that he choose to give riches to, that he choose to give a peace of mind to, that he choose to give, a stable countenance. The Lord can, give you that even in captivity, man. So that's why we have to follow the spirit in order to have good success. Let's go back over to that Proverbs 12 and 1. "Whoso loveth instruction loveth knowledge, but he that hateth reproof is brutish." If you hate being corrected, if you hate being taught something the right way, then you will not make it in this walk, man. You will not make it in this walk, and more than likely, the Lord is not dealing with you to begin with. That's why it's a 2/3. You have to be chastised, man. You have to be willing to be corrected with reproof, or you're brutish, like the scripture says, right? Let's go to verse 2 in Proverbs chapter 12. It says, "A good man obtaineth favor of the Lord, but a man of wicked devices will he condemn," right? A man of wicked devices the Lord will condemn, but a man of good favor, but a good man obtaining favor from the Lord. How do you be good? By following the laws, the statutes, the commandments to the best of your ability in these chains of darkness, right? In this wicked ass kingdom. That's how you become a good man. You mark him which was perfect, right? Who was Yahushua. He was perfect in this flesh, right? That's who we mark and try to be after, try to follow after. You understand? Shalom, shalom. Once again to everybody, that's watching the video, let's say here, verse 2 again, it says, "A good man obtaining the favor of the Lord, but a man of wicked devices will he condemn." Let's get Proverbs chapter 8 and verse 35, just to get another precept to back that up. Proverbs chapter 8 and verse 35, right? Proverbs 8 and verse 35 says, "For whoso findeth me findeth life, and shall obtain favor of the Lord." So if you go back and read right here, verse 2, it says, "A good man obtaineth the favor of the Lord," right? How do he obtain favor from the Lord? By finding the Lord, right? By finding this life, by finding these scriptures, by thinking upon yourself and think like, damn, who am I? Where did I come from? Where am I going? Right? Start asking questions like that, and that's how you start to find the Lord and find out who you are. Proverbs chapter 8 and verse 35 once again says, "For whoso findeth me findeth life," right? So whoso findeth me findeth life, and shall obtain favor of the Lord, right? You shall obtain favor from the Lord. It's been countless of ancestors and our people that has obtained favor from the Lord. The scriptures tell you, who have ever called on him and he have forsaken, right? Let's get that. Let's get that. This is Sirach or Ecclesiasticus chapter 2, right? In the Apocrypha. Ecclesiasticus chapter 2 and verse 10, it says, look at the generations of old and see, did ever any trust in the Lord and was confounded? Or did any abide in his fear and was forsaken? Or whom did he ever despise that called upon him, right? Who did he ever despise that really called upon the Lord? Look through the generations of old. Check through the histories and see who have the Lord ever rejected that really, truly, sincerely called on him and followed the law, statutes, commandments to the best of their ability. Who have the Lord ever rejected? Right? Nobody. You cannot go into the history and see, right? Because the Lord keep his word. If you find him, you shall obtain favor, right? If you find the Lord, you shall obtain favor. Because a good man and a good woman obtaining favor from the Lord, right? Because they find life. They find these scriptures, man. Let's continue on Proverbs chapter 12 verse 3. A man shall not be established by wickedness, but the root of the righteous shall not be moved, right? The root of the righteous shall not be moved. This wicked man who is ruling this earth right now, right? Because Job chapter 9 and verse 24 to let you know, Job chapter 9 and verse 24, I believe. Let me see. 9 and 27. But let me get that. It tells you that the earth was given into the hands of the wicked, right? So the people whose face on the dollar, those are the people who's running the earth right now. Malachi chapter 1 verse 4 let you know that Edom are the wicked, right? Edom, the so-called white man, is the wicked. He's red and hairy all over like a hairy garment, right? So this wicked is running the earth right now. And over in Proverbs chapter 12 and verse 3, it says, a man shall not be established by wickedness, right? So this man right here, his kingdom, the man of wickedness, the man, the reprobate man, the rejected man, right? This kingdom shall fall because their wickedness shall not, his wickedness shall not be established forever. But the scripture says, but the root of the righteous shall not be moved. Then the scriptures tell you in Daniel chapter 7 verse 18 that the saints shall take the kingdom, and the saints shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom even forever and ever. But right here in Job chapter 9 verse 24 says, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? This the Lord asking the question. He said, if not, where, who is he? Who is this wicked man on the earth if it's not the white man, right? If it's not the so-called white man. He's not white, he's red. Yasharella, you know what I'm saying? So-called black, Native American, and Hispanic, you are God's chosen people. And you got to wake up. And you got to turn back to the good instead of constantly being showered with the negative and the wicked, you know, like these enemies want. You know, these enemies want us to be negative. They want us to be wicked so our God cannot fight for us, man. We need to wake up. Verse 4, it says, a virtuous woman is a crown to her husband, but she that maketh a shame is a rightness to his bones, right? Salakia. Proverbs chapter 12 and verse 4, a virtuous woman is a crown to her husband, but she that maketh a shame is as rottenness in his bones, right? Verse 5, the thoughts of the righteous are right, but the counsels of the wicked are deceit, man. These the wise words, man. The counsel of the wicked are deceit, right? That crafty counsel that they've taken upon us to make sure the name of Israel may no longer be in remembrance. Read about that in Psalm chapter 83. They made sure the name of true Israel may no longer be in remembrance. That's crafty counsel, and it's wicked, man, right? But the thoughts of the righteous are right, right? What are the thoughts of the righteous? You look in these scriptures, in this book, right? You look at this collection of books, and you start to read the thoughts of the righteous, right, from our ancestors and things like that. And not only do you start to read the thoughts of the righteous, you start to do their actions too as well, right? You start to, not only are you reading, that's why Revelation chapter 1 verse 3 says, blessed is he that readeth, right? Blessed is he or blessed is she that readeth, right? Isaiah chapter 34 verse 16 says, seek ye out of the book of the Lord and read. You want to know these righteous thoughts. That way you can think about the righteous thoughts and eventually start doing them, man. You know what I'm saying? This is Proverbs chapter 12 and verse 5. Once again, the thoughts of the righteous are right, but the counsels of the wicked are deceit. Verse 6, the words of the wicked are to lie and wait for blood, but the mouth of the upright shall deliver them, right? Who is that them is talking about? So, okay, who is that them is talking about? The them is talking about is the elect, right? But the mouth of the upright shall deliver them, shall deliver the elect, right? Because that's who is going to be saved from this wicked ass kingdom, from this wicked ass spiritual Babylon and spiritual Egypt. And you know what I'm saying? That's who shall be saved, the elect, right? And how will we save them? How would the upright save them? You know what I'm saying? Hopefully I'm not part of the 2/3. I'm hoping that I'm part of the elect. You know what I'm saying? That's why I continue to try to do the work diligently to make my calling and my election sure. You understand? But we supposed to deliver them, right, from the wicked. We supposed to deliver them from the words of the wicked. They lie and wait for blood. How do we do that? By reading Isaiah chapter 61 and verse 1, right? We tell them that the Spirit of the Lord is upon me, because the Lord have anointed me to preach good tidings unto the meek. He hath sent me to bind up the brokenhearted, to proclaim liberty to the captives, and the opening of the prison to them that are bound, right? So he said that the mouth of the upright shall deliver them. By reading this life to the people, by telling them to wake up, turn back to their nationality and their heritage, we're delivering the hopeful elect. We're delivering the people that we come across. We're delivering ourselves too as well, because the scriptures tell us if we go out and we camp and one sin repent, right? I mean, one soul repent, the angels in the heaven rejoice, and we also cover a multitude of our own sins. So that's why it's very important, you know what I'm saying, to do this work, right? Because you're covering a multitude of your own sins, as well as you're waking up the sheep, right? You're reaching out to the sheep. So that's why this work is very important, man. You know, we have to deliver them, right? It's the Lord inevitably that wake up anybody and that deliver us all. But we have to do this work, man. You know what I'm saying? As the vessels fitted for righteousness, right? Verse 6, it says, this is Proverbs chapter 12, verse 6. It says, the words of the wicked are to lie and wait for blood, but the mouth of the upright shall deliver them. Verse 7, the wicked are overthrown and are not, but the house of the righteous shall stand. Let's get Psalm chapter 37 and verse 36, just to get some more understanding on that too as well. But it says, the wicked are overthrown and are not, but the house of the righteous shall stand. This is future prophecy here. The wicked will be overthrown, and they will not be here on the face of the earth any longer, according to Obadiah chapter 1 and verse 18, right? The wicked shall disappear. The Lord have a righteous indignation for the seed line of the wicked, right? But the house of the righteous shall stand, according to Daniel chapter 7 verse 18. You know what I'm saying? According to you know, the saints getting the kingdom, having a kingdom, you know what I'm saying, possessing slaves, you know, possessing their possessions. All of these things shall be given over to the house of the righteous, because it shall stand forever, right? Every time a kingdom came into power and they were wicked, they are not now. They're gone. But the righteous shall stand forever. The righteous shall stand forever. Proverbs, not Proverbs. Let's get Psalms chapter 37 verse 36 real quick. Psalms 37 to 36. This is the book of Psalms, Salakia, Psalms chapter 37 and verse, I'll start at verse 34. It says, wait on the Lord and keep his way, and he shall exalt thee to inherit the land, right? When the wicked are cut off, thou shalt see it, right? Verse 35, I have seen the wicked in great power, and spreading himself like a green bay tree. 36, yet he passed away, and lo, he was not. Yeah, I sought him, but he could not be found. This links up with what? Proverbs chapter 12 and verse 7, how the wicked is overthrown and are not, right? We seen and we continue to see right now to this day in 2020, right? We continue to see that the wicked have great power. We continue to see that, you know what I'm saying, that he spread himself like a green bay tree. But guess what? The future is coming. It's going to be a time where we're going to seek after the wicked. It's going to be a time where people will be like, where did people go? Where did the Edomites go? Where people go? And we're not going to be able to find them, because the house of Jacob shall be the house of Jacob and Joseph shall be a fire, and Esau shall be for stubble, right? Let's continue on. Verse 37, it says, mark the perfect man and behold the upright, for the end of that man is peace. Verse 38, but the transgressors shall be destroyed together. The end of the wicked shall be cut off, right? So the transgressors, who are the transgressors? It's the 2/3. It's Yasharallah, the ones who was given the law and break it to this day, right? Ignorantly, not the ones that was given the law and break it to this day. The ones that are ignorantly choosing not to follow the Lord, right? And the ones who are purposely choosing not to follow the Lord, they shall be put to death, man. 2/3. And hopefully I'm not part of that number. Hopefully I'm not part of that number. And that's why I want to continue to do the work, man, until gray hair if I have to, or until the next, whatever the Lord say, well done with me, that's when I want to be done with this work, man. You know, and that's it. know what I'm saying? Verse 39, it says, but the salvation of the righteous is of the Lord. He is their strength in the time of trouble, right? This is a time of trouble that we are in. If you need strength, turn to the Lord, man. Verse 40, it says, and the Lord shall help them and deliver them. He shall deliver them from the wicked and save them because they trust in him. That's why Proverbs chapter 3 and verse 5 says, trust in the Lord with all thine heart and lean not on thy own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge the Lord and he will direct your paths, right? That's what we're supposed to be doing, Yasharallah. Trusting in the Lord. You understand? Trusting in the Lord, because he will deliver us and he will save us, right? This is future prophecy right here. But the salvation of the righteous is of the Lord. He is their strength in the time of trouble. Verse 40, over in Psalm chapter 37, verse 40, and the Lord shall help them and deliver them. He shall deliver them from the wicked and save them because they trust in him, man. That's future prophecy right there, Yasharallah. Let's go back over to Proverbs chapter 12 and verse 8. It says, a man shall be commended according to his wisdom, but he that is of a perverse mind or a heart shall be despised, man. You understand? That's why the scripture says he's going to make a man more precious than fine gold, right? Because a man, a real man, according to Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 13, for this is the whole duty of man, fear God and keep his commandments, right? That's the whole duty of man. So if you're a real man out here, that's what you're going to be doing. So for the real man, he's going to make them finer than gold, right? Finer than precious gold, and we shall be commended according to our wisdom, right? But that perverse mind shall be despised, man. You know what I'm saying? That man that don't have wisdom, that man that don't know what's going on, that man that don't trust in the Lord, that man that don't have a clue to the prophecies or don't have a clue about anything, he will be despised, man. And his woman gonna leave him. His woman gonna leave him and seek somebody that has the knowledge, right? That's why the scripture says 7 women shall take a hold on to one man. That number 7 is completion, right? So we have to understand that you don't know how many women gonna take a hold to one man. It depends on who the Lord sent them, right? You know, this is verse 9. It says, Proverbs chapter 12 and verse 9, he that is despised and have a servant is better than he that honoreth himself and lacketh bread. He that is despised and have a servant is better than he that honoreth himself and lacketh bread. This is telling you right here, don't boast it up on yourself. Don't be like, I'm this, I'm that, or prideful in yourself, because somebody that don't know this knowledge, somebody that, you know what I'm saying, that is void of wisdom, but he have a follower and a servant is better than you. Kind of like T.D. Jakes and Al Sharpton and all these pastors out here. If you got these wicked pastors out here, you know what I'm saying, that's already despised, the scriptures is saying he is better than one that honoreth himself and lacketh bread. That pastor is better than you if you're out here, right? If you're out here priding yourself up, but you ain't got no fruit. Priding yourself up, but you ain't got nothing to show for it. Right? You up here saying, I got this, I got that. But when it's time to put forth and when it's time to put up, you ain't got nothing to put up. Right? That's what the saying say, put up or shut up. Right? Put up or shut up. Right? Do the commandments or shut up. Right? Or shut up and wait for judgment. Wait for that nuclear missile to hit you in your damn forehead. I don't want to get nuclear missile hitting me or destroying me or destroying my family. So that's why I want to do this work. Right? Because I fear the Lord, man. Let's continue on. Proverbs chapter 12 and verse 10, it says, a righteous man regardeth the life of his beast, but the tender mercies of the wicked are cruel, man. Verse 11, it says, he that tilleth his land shall be satisfied with bread, but he that followeth vain persons is void of understanding. If you're following vain people, you are void of understanding. If you're following someone that cares about money more, cars more, houses more, clothes more, women more, anything more than the Lord, you're following vain people and you are void of understanding. Let's go to Genesis chapter 3 and verse 19 real quick. Genesis 3 and 19, just to get a precept. This is the book of Genesis chapter 3 and verse 19. It says, in the sweat of thy face shalt thou eat bread, till thou return unto the ground, for out of it was thou taken, for dust thou art, and dust shalt thou return. So in the sweat of thy face thou shalt eat bread. The Lord said this is the curse that's on the Israelite man, and that's on man in general, right? That's on the Israelite man. By the sweat of your brow, you got to eat bread. Whether you working for anybody, you're going to have to work for your placement. You're going to have to work, right? That's what you got to do. The Lord hate a slothful spirit. The number one job in this truth, the number one job in this world is this truth. Yasharallah. That's the number one job. So you got to till to this land. You got to till to this work, man. You understand? Proverbs chapter 12, verse 11 said that. It says, he that tilleth his land shall be satisfied with bread, but he that followeth vain persons is void of understanding, man. Right? You follow vain people, you are void of understanding. But if you till to your land, to your mind, you shall be satisfied with bread. You shall constantly be eating, right? You shall be constantly eating from this milk, from this feast that the Lord has put upon us, right? Spiritual food. You constantly learning from your elders. You sticking to that doctrine that you know, right? That's when you constantly gonna eat. You're gonna constantly get the favor from the Lord, man. You know, verse 12, it says, the wicked desireth the net of the evil man, but the root of the righteous yield fruit. Let me read that again. Proverbs chapter 12 and verse 12. The wicked desireth the net of evil men, right? But the root of the righteous yield fruit, right? Now, I remember our people, when we got out of Egypt the first time, they was complaining when the Lord brought them into the wilderness, right? Complaining, talking about, under Pharaoh, we didn't have to go through all of this and all of that. Our people just stiff-necked. They wicked. The wickedness of our nation love to be the wicked people of our nation love to be under subject to these people, man. You understand? They love it. They love to go off and make covenants with the heathen. That's what they do, right? Because they don't want to follow the Lord. They don't want to. So that's why the Lord said 2/3 shall be put to death. 66.6% of our nation shall be put to death, right? 2/3. Because of our stiff-necked, hard-headed bullshit, man. From the beginning of time. All the coons, turncoats, selling out their people, robbing God, right? Robbing his people. All those people have to pay, man. Judgment has come upon the earth. You wanna love wicked people? You wanna love wicked men, evil men? You wanna follow the ways of the heathen? That's what you shall get, their judgment, right? That's what the Lord said. The transgressors, right? The transgressors will get the judgment with the wicked, according to Job chapter 37, right? Job chapter 37, verse 38, right? Salakia. This is Proverbs chapter 12 and verse 13. It says, the wicked is snared by the transgression of his lips, but the just shall come out of trouble. I'm going to read that again. Proverbs chapter 12, verse 13. The wicked is snared, meaning trapped, by the transgressions of his lips, but the just shall come out of trouble. Proverbs chapter 18 and verse 7. Let's get some precept real quick. Proverbs chapter 18 and verse 7. Proverbs chapter 18 and verse 7 says, Proverbs chapter 18 and verse 7 says, Proverbs chapter 18 and verse 7. It says, a fool's mouth is his destruction, and his lips are the snare of his soul. His lips are the trap of his soul. So it's just best for us to just shut the hell up, right? Right? Shut the hell up and be still and know that Yahweh is God, right? That's the best thing to do, right? If you don't know something, then it's best to just be quiet, right? Because we know that every idle word we shall be judged for, Yasharallah. So it says right here, Proverbs chapter 18 and verse 7, a fool's mouth is his destruction, and his lips are the snare of his soul, man. Going back over that Proverbs chapter 12 and verse 13, the wicked is snared by the transgression of his lips, but the just shall come out of trouble. That's why precept must be upon precept, line upon line, here a little and there a little, so you can get the understanding and the context of what is going on, man, and what the scriptures is bringing out, right? Because it just gave us clarity. Shut the hell up if you a fool and you don't know nothing, because eventually whatever is hidden gonna come to the light. Right? So it's best to study, best to watch what you say to people, because the scriptures tell you that life and death lies in the power of the tongue. And these are all wise sayings, wise words that people should understand and take heed to, right? And listen, right? This is Proverbs chapter 12, verse 14. It says, a man shall be satisfied with good by the fruit of his mouth, and the recompense of a man's hands shall be rendered unto him. I'm going to read that again. Proverbs chapter 12, verse 14. A man shall be satisfied with good by the fruit of his mouth. Life and death lies in the power of the tongue. The scriptures tell you, right? Speak forth into existence what you want to come out of it. The Edomites and the scientists of the world like to call it the law of attraction, right? What you speak is what you're going to get into existence, right? What you think about and meditate on is what's going to be brought forth into your existence. They got that law of attraction from the scriptures. They got it from right here. Proverbs chapter 12, verse 14, a man shall be satisfied with good by the fruit of his mouth, and the recompense of a man's hands shall be rendered unto him. You do the work, you profess it, you shall get what you sow. You shall reap what you sow. Proverbs chapter 12, verse 15, it says, the way of a fool is right in his own eyes, but he that hearkeneth unto counsel is wise, right? You that hearken unto wise counsel, you are wise, right? But a fool is right in his own eyes. This link up with what? Proverbs chapter 3 and verse 7. Woe unto them that are wise in their own eyes, right? We're going to get there real quick. Proverbs chapter 3, verse 7. But we're going to start at verse 5. Proverbs chapter 3 and verse 5, it says, trust in the Lord with all thy heart, and lean not on thy own understanding. Verse 6, in all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy path. Verse 7, be not wise in thy own eyes, fear the Lord, and depart from evil. So that's how you become a good man or a right man, right? By following these righteous thoughts and departing from evil. Turning to the Lord, man. You know, turning to the Lord. Proverbs chapter 12 and verse 16, it says, a fool's wrath is presently known, but a prudent man covereth shame. A prudent man covereth shame. You don't want to be caught out here lacking. A prudent man is studying. A prudent man is studying to answer. A prudent man will not be caught out there lacking. Right? Be apt to teach. But a fool's wrath is presently known, man. A fool will get angry as hell if he don't know something. Instead of asking something or learning, instead of asking a question or learning, a fool will actually get mad. A fool will get mad as hell if they don't know it and they'll pretend to know. Right? Let's get Proverbs chapter 29 and verse 11 just to get a precept. Proverbs 29 and verse 11. Proverbs 29 verse 11. It says, a fool uttereth all his mind, but a wise man keepeth in Salakia. Proverbs chapter 29 verse 11. A fool uttereth all his mind, but a wise man keepeth it in till afterwards, man. Right? A wise man keep it in till afterwards. A wise man look at the situation, what's going on. Right? Dissect the situation. Some people, it take a little bit longer to dissect the situation, but they still gonna get it done. Right? Some people get it a little bit faster, but a wise man will dissect the situation, see what's going on, and then answer. Right? That's why the scripture says, what is it? Answer not before thou hast heard the cause. Hear first, understand, then rebuke. Right? That's the characteristics of a wise, prudent man that's listening to counsel. But a fool will utter all his mind. A fool will be right in his job, talking to his boss, telling his boss he a damn Edomite. But he know that he need that job, right, for his to feed his family. But he'll go right in there and dog his boss, dog everything. Now he out of a job. That's a fool because he did not acknowledge the time that he was in. You understand? It's a time and a place for everything, right? It's a time to work. It's a time to labor. And we're in captivity. We got to work for these enemies. So that's why the scriptures tell us to be wise as a serpent and harmless as a dove. Okay, you can be on fire and tell some of the coworkers of this and that. You understand? But more than likely, if you up in your job trying to teach this truth, your ass is going to end up fired. You're going to end up fired. Right? You're supposed to be doing this work in appropriate time. Be apt to teach. I know that. You have to be apt to teach. So if anybody asking you the question or anything, then okay, cool. Tell them about it. Tell them about it. Right? But don't just be up in that holding camp at the job. That's not wisdom. Right? That's not wisdom. That's why it says right here, a fool uttereth all his mind, but a wise man keepeth it in till afterwards, right? It's telling you right now, a wise man will discern the time that he is in. A wise man will choose the time and the place when to say certain things. A fool will utter all things at all times, right? Going back to Proverbs chapter 12 and verse 16, a fool's wrath is presently known, but a prudent man covereth shame. Verse 17, he that speaketh truth showeth forth righteousness, but a false witness deceit, right? Let's get Proverbs 14 and 5. Proverbs chapter 14, verse 5, a precept for it. A faithful witness will not lie, but a false witness will utter lies, right? So this is what this is going into. You understand? A false witness will utter all lies, right? You got false witnesses out here claiming that Yahushua is a white man. He's uttering all lies. You know? You got all these different pagan holidays out here. They're uttering all lies, right? he that speaketh truth showeth forth righteousness. What is righteousness? Deuteronomy chapter 6 and verse 25. It shall be our righteousness if what? Deuteronomy 6 and verse 25. And it shall be our righteousness if we observe to do all these commandments before the Lord our God as he hath commanded us. So if we want to be righteous, if we want to speak righteous, right? If we want to speak truth, we got to speak these laws, these statutes, these commandments, right? That he gave us, right? But a false witness will speak deceit. That's why the Esau was set up to be the wicked. Esau was set up to be the damnable, a damnable blasphemer, right? Let's continue on through the spirit. Verse 18, Proverbs chapter 12, verse 18, there is that speaking like the piercing of a sword, but the tongue of the wise is health, right? That's why when we speak to the people and we speak to them this life, this milk, this meat, we speak to them this life, we heal the mental. We heal the people that are mentally broken. You know what I'm saying? That are carnally minded. We heal them. And we also heal ourselves because this is the comforter. You understand? This is the comforter. You know, let's get Psalms chapter 57, verse 4. Real quick. Psalms 57, verse 4. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 57 and verse 4. It says, my soul is among lions, and I lie even among them that are set on fire, even the sons of man whose teeth are spears and arrows, and their tongue a sharp sword, man. You understand? That we are amongst lions right now. We didn't he tell us that he sent us out as sheep among wolves? Right, we are prey among these people, man. Their teeth are like spears and arrows, and their tongue a sharp sword, man. Let's get Psalms 55 and 21 real quick. Psalms chapter 55 and verse 21. It says, the words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet they were drawn swords, right? This is what it's talking about. Right, we amongst these lions. They signed 400 treaties with the so-called Native Americans and didn't keep one. Didn't keep one. They stab you in the back the closer chance they get. We're talking about the wicked, the Edomites, as well as our people too. They got the mindset of these Gentiles, right? Let's get Proverbs chapter 12 and verse 18 again. There is that speaking like the piercing of a sword, but the tongue of the wise is health, right? Verse 19, the lip of truth shall be established forever, but a lying tongue is but for a moment. That's why this kingdom is but for a moment. These lying blasphemers is but for a moment, but the kingdom of heaven shall endure forever. Verse 20, it says, deceit is in the heart of them that imagine evil, but to the counselors of peace is joy, right? We are the counselors of peace, right? Exactly, the counselors of peace, because we're teaching people to turn back to the Lord, which is peaceful, right? When we listen to our Lord and we listen to our God, there's nothing but peace between us and our God. The moment when we disobey him, that's when we be destroyed. That's when we be led into captivity, man. This is Proverbs chapter 21 and Proverbs chapter 12 and verse 21. There shall no evil happen to the just, but the wicked shall be filled with mischief. So you see a lot of stuff going on in the world because the wicked is being filled with mischief. But the Lord said, trust in him. There shall no evil happen to the just. So if you want to be just, if you want to be righteous, Revelation 14 and 12, here are they that keep the commandments of God and the faith of Yahweh Shah. This is what we have to do, Yasharella. This is what we have to do. This is Proverbs chapter 12 and verse 22. Lying lips are an abomination to the Lord, but they that deal truly are his delight. Proverbs chapter 6 and verse 17. Let's get that. Because he said, lying lips are an abomination to the Lord, but they that deal truly are his delight. Proverbs chapter 6 and verse 17 is a precept real quick that we can get. It says, a proud look. I'm going to start at verse 16, because this is going into things that the Lord hate, right? That the Lord, that is an abomination to the Lord, right? Proverbs chapter 6 and verse 16, it says, these 6 things doeth the Lord hate. Yes, 7 are an abomination unto him. Verse 17, a proud look, a lying tongue, and hands that shed innocent blood. Verse 18, and heart that devises wicked imaginations, feet that be swift in running to mischief. Verse 19, a false witness that speaketh lies, and he that soweth discord among the brethren, right? So this is what the Lord hates. These are abominations to the Lord. All of these are lying lips, right? Lying lips. The countenance of this man is shameful. He don't give a damn, right? Right? Let's go to Proverbs chapter 12 and verse 23. About to start wrapping this up real quick. Proverbs chapter 12, verse 23, a prudent man concealeth knowledge, but the heart of fools proclaimeth foolishness. Let's get Proverbs chapter 13, verse 16 for a precept, man. It says, every prudent man dealeth with knowledge, but a fool layeth open his folly, right? A fool will tell you nothing but madness. A fool will tell you to focus on everything else but the scriptures. They so knowledgeable about everything else in the world, but when it comes to saving their soul, they're oblivious, right? But a prudent man concealeth knowledge. Concealeth what type of knowledge? Concealeth the knowledge on how to save your soul. A concealeth knowledge on how to save his own soul. That's what a prudent man stack up knowledge on, right? He concealeth knowledge, the true knowledge and understanding, because the scriptures let you know that the wisdom of this world is foolishness with God, right? Right? And that's what the mind of the fool proclaim. Verse 24 in Proverbs chapter 12, verse 24 says, the hand of the diligent shall bear rule, but the slothful shall be under tribute, right? Let's go to Proverbs chapter 10 and verse 4 to get some understanding. Proverbs chapter 10 and verse 4. It says, he becometh poor that dealeth with a slack hand, but the hand of the diligent maketh rich. So this is what this is going into, right? The hand of the diligent shall bear rule, right? The hand of the diligent, if you're constantly doing this work, you will be rich in spirit and in faith, and the Lord will make you rich on this plane. In this world, in this wicked world, the scriptures tell you it's easy in the sight of the Lord to make a poor man rich or poor woman rich, right? Rich in the spirit, rich in faith, right? Rich in money too as well, because he tell you that money is a defense, right? You understand? So that's why he said, the hand of the diligent shall bear rule, but the slothful shall be under tribute. Proverbs chapter 10 and verse 4 once again. He becometh poor that dealeth with a slack hand. So if you want to be under, this is what's happening with us. We have slacked in our work. We have slacked in being diligent in this truth, right? I'm talking about the Israelites when we have disobeyed our God, when we have disobeyed our commandments. Now we're under tribute. Now we're in a poor state under another wicked nation because we have disobeyed our God. We have thrown away our plow, which was in our hands to till our land. You feel what I'm saying? We threw away our land. We threw away everything when we chose to follow these nations other than Yahweh Shem Yahushua, man. You understand? Let's go to Proverbs chapter 12 and verse 25. Heaviness in the heart of man maketh it stoop, but a good word maketh it glad, right? Heaviness, right, in the heart, in the mind of man maketh it stoop, right? You being bound by your sins. That's heaviness, right? But a good word or make it glad. For example, telling you to repent because the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Endure to the end because the kingdom of heaven is at hand. That's a great word. That's a good word that make a person glad when they sin and when they repent and overcome it, right? But if you constantly dwelling in your sin, that's heaviness in your mind. And they're going to make you constantly stoop. It's going to make you constantly fall down. It's going to make you constantly sin even more because you're not overcoming it. You're bound by your sins. That's why 2 Ezra chapter 16 and verse 76 says, woe unto them that are bound by their sins, right? So we have to overcome those sins. Let's get Proverbs chapter 15 and verse 13 just to get another precept. Proverbs chapter 15 and verse 13. A merry heart maketh a cheerful countenance. The word countenance means make it a cheerful face, right? Make it a cheerful face, a cheerful presence, right? So a merry mind maketh a cheerful presence. But by sorrow of the mind, the spirit is broken, right? By sorrow of the mind, the spirit is broken. If you think about what's going on, the scriptures tell you that a man that increases in knowledge increases in sorrow, right? Because we're thinking about the stuff that's going on. We're thinking about what's happening, and our people that 90% of our, not 90%, but 2/3 of our people are oblivious to. We're thinking about the cargo slavery. We're thinking about being stacked like sardines, the people at the bottom of the ocean. We're thinking about these things, man. And it makes us sorrowful, right? It makes us hurt. It breaks our spirit. But in order for us to be built up and comforted, we got to stay in these scriptures. We got to stay reading because this is our comforter. This is our healing. This is our health, right? Let's continue on through the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Proverbs chapter 12 and verse 33. It says, wisdom resteth in the heart of him that have understanding, but that which is in the midst of fools is made known. Proverbs chapter 12 and verse 16, real quick for a precept. Proverbs chapter 12 verse 16, a fool's wrath is presently known, but a prudent man covereth shame. That's what we're reading, right? That's how the precepts linked up. I just read over here in Salakia. I read over in Proverbs chapter 14 and verse 33. Wisdom resteth in the heart of him that hath understanding, but that which is in the midst of fools is made known. And what came to my mind? Proverbs chapter 12 and verse 16. What we're actually breaking down is the precept that links up with that. That's crazy, right? So Proverbs chapter 12 and verse 26 now, because we're going back to the Proverbs. That's what we're breaking down. Proverbs chapter 12 and Proverbs chapter 12 and verse 26 is where we at, right? But we're breaking down the entire Proverbs chapter 12. Let me slow down for a second. Yes. So this is Proverbs chapter 12 and verse 25. Once again, heaviness in the heart of man maketh it stoop, but a good word maketh it glad. Verse 26. The righteous is more excellent than his neighbor, but the way of the wicked seduceth them. This links up to what? Isaiah chapter 5 and verse 20. Let's get that. Isaiah chapter 5 and verse 20. It says, woe unto them that call evil good and good evil, that put darkness for light and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. Verse 21, woe unto them that are wise in their own eyes and prudent in their own sights. So woe unto them that call evil good and good evil. This is what's going on. We are the righteous, but now we call good evil and evil good. Now we are what? Seduced by the wicked. We are more righteous than our neighbor, than the wicked, but we have been seduced by him, right? By celebrating Christmas, by celebrating our holidays, right? By celebrating their pagan shit, by following their ways, their customs. We have become the wicked. And the scripture says some of us do worse than them, right? But we're getting seduced by them, man. Getting seduced by them. Proverbs chapter 12 and verse 27 says, the slothful man roasteth not that which he took in hunting, but the substance of a diligent man is precious. What is the substance of a diligent man? These true rubies, this true gold, this wisdom, this knowledge, this understanding. But a slothful man will not go out. The slothful man will not even go out to hunt. So that's why he don't have nothing to roast. The slothful man roasteth not that which he took in hunting. Right? A slothful man, you're not going to get a prize. You're not going to get that hunt. You're not going to get anything because you're so slothful. You can't move. You're not going to get the truth. You're not going to get the kingdom of heaven if you're slothful in this work. You're not diligent. It says those who preach the gospel must live the gospel also. Those who speak the gospel, preach the gospel, must live it also. So it's not when you out there at camp on Saturday, that's when you're doing the work. It's throughout your life. 7 days of the week, 24 hours of the day. You got to constantly move. You got to constantly endure, constantly overcome. Proverbs chapter 12 verse 28, it says, in the way of righteousness is life, and in the pathway thereof there is no death. Right? I'm going to end it with this precept over here, Sirach chapter 19 and verse 19. It says this. Sirach chapter 19 and verse 19. It says, the knowledge of the commandments of the Lord is the doctrine of life, right? And they that do these things that please him shall receive the fruit of the tree of immortality. Verse 20, the fear of the Lord is all wisdom, and in all wisdom is the performance of the law and the knowledge of his omnipotency. So right now, Yasharallah, right, we just read over Proverbs chapter 12 just to get clarity, wisdom, right? This is once again a part 3 to the wise words series that I'm doing right there on the channel, right? This right here should give you some wisdom, some knowledge, some understanding, right? To give you more oil to keep going, man. You know, hopefully this was edifying. I want to end it by giving all honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Harakakadash Lai Walam Yum. The water for everybody that watched this video. You know, hopefully the spirit stay on you. Double honors to all the men, once again, out there doing this work diligently, making their call and their election sure. Strong shalom to the women too as well. Call halayim la'abanawa Yahweh, Ba'ashem Hamashiach wa Malak Yahushua, Ba'ashem Harakakadash Lai Walam Yum. Baba Kasha, Yasharallah, wake up. Salach Rayam, all called are the Wamyam. Send evil to all Edomites, Yasharallah. In Yahweh, you understand? That's what I sent. That's what Salak Rayam, all called Adawamya meaning send evil to all Edomites, or to all our enemies, right? Shalom, Yasharallah. On to the next one. Stay strong.